Hi, I'm Cassidy, and today I'll be guiding you through a 30-minute power yoga class to build strength throughout the body. Although this practice will be at a quicker pace, I'll be offering options for variations along the way and also want to encourage you to listen to your body. If something isn't feeling good for you, feel free to find something else that is or take a resting pose. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more power yoga style classes. Grab some water, roll out your yoga mat, and let's get started. We're going to begin today's practice in child's pose, so bring the big toes to touch, spread the knees wide, and the arms come long in front of you. Forehead rests on the mat. Just beginning to center in. Allow distractions to just melt away, bringing the mind into this space, onto your yoga mat and into the present moment. Checking in with yourself, seeing how the body is feeling today. And take a moment to just set your intention for today's practice. So something that you want to get out of this practice today, the way you want to feel. And come back to your intention throughout our practice to recenter the mind into this space. And we're going to set up our breath. So first, just start to turn your attention to the breath. Just noticing your inhales and your exhales. Noticing the natural rhythm of the breath that you brought on to your yoga mat with you today. And once the mind is sort of starting to pay attention to the breath, we'll start to deepen that breath up a little bit. So just making every inhale a little bit longer, allowing the belly to fill up and expand, and making every exhale just as long as those inhales. So finding that circular rhythm. Long inhales through the nose that fill up the belly, and long exhales back out of the nose, letting all of that air go. And if you'd like, you can find an ujjayi breath. That's a pranayama technique that we often see in vinyasa and power yoga. So if you're looking to find an ujjayi breath, we'll set that up together. So take an inhale through the nose. And on your exhale, slight constriction at the back of the throat to make a sound like you're trying to fog up a mirror. So inhale, exhale. Good. So sometimes we call this our Darth Vader breath or our ocean breath, and that's kind of the sound we're trying to mimic. So it's up to you whether you want to use this technique throughout our practice today. Good. But just find a rhythm that works for you, something you can stay consistent with. And take one final breath in stillness in your child's pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, let it go, this time out of the mouth, and sigh it out. And work your way into a tabletop. So onto all fours and checking in. Shoulders are right above the wrists, hips are right above the knees. We're engaging the core, flattening the spine. Take an inhale, drop the belly, and look up. Cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, look to the belly button, and press the ground away from you for cat. Good. Inhale, drop the belly for cow. And exhale, round the spine for cat. Close your eyes and just take 3 more rounds of breath on your own. Option to find some intuitive movement here as well. So maybe you want some hip circles or some other movement. Just beginning to wake up the spine, warm up the body. Take one final round of breath. Inhale, maybe you find cow. Exhale, maybe for cat. And then just return to that neutral tabletop. Flatten the spine. Good. From here, extend the right arm in front of you and the left leg behind you, flexing that back foot. Take an inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, bring the elbow to meet the knee, crunching it in. Good. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, pull it in. Once more. Inhale to lift. Exhale, elbow to knee. Good. Inhale to lift. Exhale, return to tabletop. Let's find that on the other side. So this time, left arm extends long in front of you, right leg lifts behind you, and flex that back foot. Take an inhale and lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, crunch it in. Good. One more time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Good. Inhale, extend, and then just return to tabletop. From here, you have a couple options. You can either tuck the toes under, or you can just begin to press into the tops of the feet, and we'll just lift the knees just to a hover, so just a couple inches off the yoga mat. Good. Take an inhale, and exhale to release. Good. From here, keep the left knee where it is, and we're going to turn that foot out so it's pointing to the left side. And then the right leg is going to extend, and we're going to plant the left hand spinning open to this modified side plank. So the left knee is down and the right leg is long. Maybe you begin to lift that right leg, firing up the core. Option to move into full side plank if you'd like, but we'll be getting into that later, so no need to go there now if you don't want to. So take an inhale, exhale, and just return to tabletop. Let's find that on the other side. So right knee is going to stay where it is, but turn that right foot out towards the right side. Left leg comes long behind you. Good. Pulling your weight onto that right hand and spinning open with the left, coming into this modified side plank, and maybe you lift that top leg. Take a big inhale, exhale, and return to tabletop. Good. From here, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back, come into your downward facing dog. Beginning to pedal out the feet, taking some movement here. We'll flow through a few sun salutations together. So take an inhale, bend the knees and gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, let go. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, maybe a little baby back bend at the top. Exhale, forward fold, keep a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale to fold, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Always an option to drop the knees. Inhale to shift forward, and we're setting up our vinyasa flow here. Exhale to lower half or all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, shine the heart forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Let's find that 2 more times and really begin to just link the breath to the movement, finding one movement with every inhale and one movement with every exhale. So take an inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back to plank, and flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And just using the breath to carry you through this flow. Good, and finding stillness back in your down dog. We'll find that one more time. Take an inhale, bend the knees, and gaze forward. Exhale, step or float the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up, maybe a back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step or hop back to plank, and flow through that vinyasa, meeting me back in downward facing dog, and using the breath to guide you through this. And then just returning to stillness in your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step or float the feet to meet the hands, coming back to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, this time we're going to sink down into chair pose. So weight is in the heels, arms are extended overhead. Take a big inhale, fill up. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Take one more inhale. Exhale, we're going to bring the left elbow onto the right knee, coming into a twisted chair. Hands stay at heart center, knees are in line with one another. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, slowly begin to step that left foot back behind you, coming into a twisted lunge. Maybe you open up the arms here. Good, and if the arms are open, just bring them back to heart center. And from here, just plant the left hand onto the mat. Good, spinning open with the right. Finding this twisted low lunge. And begin to shift the weight into that left hand, picking up the right foot and bringing it back to meet the left, coming into our full side plank. And always an option to drop the knees, or you can intensify this by lifting the top leg. Maybe you do both. Take a big inhale, fill up. Good, exhale, come back to your high plank and flow through your vinyasa, taking this on your own pace, using the breath, and then meeting me back in downward facing dog. And we'll find that whole sequence on the other side. So once you're in your downward facing dog, just take an inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet to meet the hands, coming into forward fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, sink the hips nice and low, coming back to chair pose. Remember to put the weight in the heels. You should be able to pick the toes up and wiggle them around. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart center. One more big inhale here before you use your exhale to twist, bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, keeping the knees on the same plane in line with one another and opening up the heart. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly begin to step the right foot behind you, coming into that twisted lunge, maybe opening up the arms. And then meeting me back with hands at heart center. Good, from here, right hand begins to plant, spin open with the left for a twisted low lunge. And then start to find some stability here, shifting the weight onto that right hand. And then the left foot meets the right at the back, coming into side plank. Maybe lowering that bottom knee or lifting the top leg. Take a big inhale. Good, and exhale, just come back to your high plank. Hold here for one deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Good, option to flow through your vinyasa or move straight to downward facing dog. Maybe you want to grab a drink of water. Good, just a few breaths here, and then we'll meet back in downward facing dog together. Good. Maybe you want to pedal out the feet. Just take a moment, find stillness or movement, and just reconnect with your intention. Just being in the present moment. Take an inhale to bend the knees and gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. From here, we're going to heel toe the feet to the outer edges of the mat. And then opposite hands, grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. And you can swing side to side. You can shake the head yes and no. Just releasing some tension here. Take an inhale. Exhale, plant the hands onto the yoga mat and then spin the toes out. From here, we're going to sink the hips down nice and low, coming into our yogi squat. Maybe you're using the elbows to press the knees out and open up the hips. Crown of the head is lifting. Close the eyes and just find balance here for a big inhale and a big exhale. Good. Plant the hands back on the mat. Pop the hips up. Heel toe the feet together for forward fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back to plank, and flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling to shift forward. Exhale, lowering halfway or all the way. Inhale to shine the heart forward. And exhale to come back to downward facing dog. And remember that this is your practice. So if you're not feeling all the vinyasa flows, you can skip them. You can find your own variation of those postures. Just make sure you're listening to your body. From our downward facing dog, we're going to move into dolphin pose. So keeping everything right where it is, but we're just going to lower the elbows and the forearms onto the yoga mat. And then maybe you begin to walk the feet in, opening up through the shoulders. Take a big inhale in your dolphin pose. Exhale, we're going to lower all the way down to forearm plank, keeping the forearms parallel with one another, avoiding the temptation to grasp the hands together. And from here, we're just going to find hip dips. So dipping the hips to one side at a time, right, then left for just 2, 1, and just lower to your belly. Good. Leave the hands right where you left them in plank, so right under the shoulders, and we're going to move into a series of cobra poses. So with your next inhale, press into the fingertips using your back strength to lift up, finding that baby cobra. Take an inhale, exhale to release. Good. Inhale, 2 more just like that. Lift, exhale to release. Good. 1 more. Option to find baby cobra as you inhale or extend all the way up, full cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, let go. And with your next inhale, just use your strength to push yourself back up to plank. And then exhale, just return to downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet. Take any movements that are calling to you here. And remind yourself that you are doing an amazing job so far in today's practice. And we're more than halfway done. Good. So from your downward facing dog, let's just take a breath together. Inhale through the nose and fill up. Exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out. Just releasing some heat from the body. And find stillness in your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, reach the right leg up, keeping the hips square for 3-legged dog. Good. Exhale, we're going to bring the right knee over to the right elbow. Inhale to lift. Exhale over to the left elbow. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to nose, and then set that foot down in between the hands, coming into low lunge. Good. Chest is lifted, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. With your next inhale, reach the arms all the way up, using your core to find balance and stability as you move into your crescent lunge. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center and find a gaze point in front of the front foot, so maybe just right in front of your mat. Slowly starting to shift weight onto that front leg. And as you're ready, launching into your warrior 3. So balancing on the front leg, lifting that back leg parallel to the yoga mat, flexing the back foot like you're pressing it into the wall behind you, creating this flat line throughout the body. Hips are square with one another and pointing towards the mat. Take an inhale and lengthen. Exhale, slowly lower that foot back behind you, coming back into that crescent lunge. Take a big inhale, relax the shoulders. Exhale, we're going to open up and find warrior two. So the front heel is in line with the back arch, shoulders are relaxed, fingertips are pulling in opposite directions, feeling nice and strong here. And then with your next inhale, sweep everything open towards the side, coming into 5-pointed star. So shoulders are relaxed, but fingertips are reaching. We're really feeling that energy extending out through the tips of the fingers. Take a big inhale. Good. Exhale, spin the toes out and sink the hips down, coming into goddess squat. Hands can come to heart center, or for an extra challenge, be out to cactus arms. Good, and maybe rise onto the toes here, building up even more strength. Try to sit a little bit lower wherever you're at. And with your next inhale, just extend the arms all the way up back into that 5-pointed star. Exhale, we're going to keep a flat back as we find a wide forward fold. And just shifting the weight side to side once you get here, bending into one knee at a time, and these can be full side lunges or just a little back and forth to stretch out the hips. And return to stillness in your wide forward fold. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, bend the front knee as you sink back into your warrior two. Good. From here, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, step back to high plank, always an option to drop the knees, and we'll flow through a vinyasa. So inhale to shift forward. Exhale, lower half or all the way down. Inhale, shine the heart forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale, fill up. Open the mouth, let it all go. Bring the mind back into this space. You got this. Take an inhale, reach the left leg up, 3-legged dog. Good. Exhale, engage the core as you bring the left knee to meet the left elbow. Inhale to lift. Good. Exhale, bringing the left knee over to the right elbow. Inhale to lift, hips are square. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands at the top of the mat, coming through that knee to nose position into your low lunge. Shoulders are relaxed, chest is lifted. We've been here before. Maybe you want to rock around on that back foot a little bit. With your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead, finding balance and grace as you move into this crescent lunge, and maybe you don't, and that's totally fine as well. Relax the shoulders, fingertips reach up towards the sky. Take an inhale. Good. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Find your drishti, your gaze point in front of your mat. Starting to shift the weight onto that front leg, and as you're ready, lifting the back leg, moving into warrior three. Hips are square, so you should be able to place a block or something else across that flat part of the back, and it should stay right where it is. Flexing that back foot, lengthening all the way from head to toe. Take one more inhale. Exhale, slowly step that foot back behind you and reach the arms up for crescent lunge. Take an inhale. Good. Exhale, open up, warrior two. So we're opening up the hips, moving from this closed hip posture into this open hip posture. And really feeling strong here. So a way that I like to just consciously add some strengthening into this is pretend that somebody is pulling my fingertips in opposite directions, really adding some resistance for the arms. Beautiful. In your next inhale, we're going to come into that 5-pointed star, sweeping everything open towards the side. Shoulders are relaxed. Take a big inhale. Exhale, spin the toes out and sink the hips down, coming into our goddess squat. Arms can be at heart center, they can be at cactus arms. And I'll challenge you to just drop an inch lower. Maybe you raise onto the toes. Take one more breath. And with your inhale, coming back into 5-pointed star, sweep the arms up. Good. Exhale, find that wide forward fold. Option to find stillness or make this a little bit more of a dynamic stretch by shifting the weight into one knee at a time, finding some little side lunges, opening up the hips. Good. And then return to stillness in your wide forward fold. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift, fingertips stay on the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, sink back into that front leg as you find your warrior two. And then cartwheel the hands down to the mat, step back to high plank, maybe dropping the knees. An option to move through a vinyasa flow on your own pace, or just meet me back in downward facing dog. Good. Taking your time here. This is our last vinyasa flow and last downward facing dog of our practice before we start to wind down. So if you want to pedal out the feet one last time or just take any final movements that would feel good in your body, go ahead and do that now. And once you find stillness in your downward facing dog, just take an inhale. And exhale, release the knees onto the mat, coming into our tabletop. And you have a couple breaths here, a little bit of time to just play around. So feel free to take a couple rounds of cat-cow or circle out the hips, whatever your body is still calling you for. Good, and just return to stillness in your tabletop and make your way into a comfortable seated position. We're going to bring the legs out long in front of us and flex the feet. Good. Take an inhale, sit up as tall as you can. Exhale, begin to just hinge at the hips and fold over the legs. So coming into our seated forward fold. And once you've hinged over the legs, start to walk your hands towards the feet. So just trying to maintain that flat back. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, settle in a little deeper, and I should mention that if you want to keep the knees bent here, feel free to do that if that feels better in your body. Good. With your next inhale, just walk the hands back up the legs, shake out the shoulders, shake out the legs, whatever final movements you need. And then just make your way onto your back. Good. Once you arrive, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe taking some rocks from side to side or back and forth. Good, giving yourself a little back massage. From here, feet are going to plant onto the mat and knees point up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the left foot on top of the right knee and then hug that right leg in towards the body, coming into our figure four or our reclined pigeon, whatever you'd prefer to call it. Take an inhale. Exhale, plant that right foot back on the mat, keeping that figure four, and then allowing the legs to twist together as they both fall off towards the right side. Left arm comes out to the side and the head looks to the left. Shoulders stay planted on the mat for this supine twist. Take a big inhale and exhale. Inhale, gather the knees back at center. Good. And then exhale, just plant the feet on the ground, knees point up towards the ceiling. We'll find that figure four on the other side. So this time bringing the right foot over the left knee and hugging the left leg in towards the chest. Maybe you extend the left leg, straighten it out. It's up to you. Take an inhale. Exhale, plant the left foot on the mat, and then just twisting that right leg all the way over until both legs fall off to the left side. Right hand comes out to the side and the head looks to the right. Shoulders stay planted on the mat, just allowing everything to let go as you settle into this supine twist. Good. Take a big inhale and fill up. Exhale, let it go. Good. Return back to center, hug the knees into the chest. From here, just grab onto the soles of the feet, bringing the knees in towards the armpits and coming into happy baby. You can rock side to side. You can straighten one leg and then the other. Just have fun with this. And hug both knees into the chest. Take an inhale, give yourself the tightest squeeze you can. And exhale to release into your final resting pose of Shavasana. Good, just allowing the full body to relax. Soften the jaw. Soften the space in between the eyebrows. Maybe perform a body scan. Just releasing every little muscle along the way from head to toe. Keeping those distractions out of the mind for just a little bit longer so you can just be here in stillness. And then begin to bring some movement back into the body. You can wiggle the fingers and the toes, roll out the ankles and the wrists. Then with your next inhale, just take a big full body stretch, arch the back, point the toes. And then just roll onto either side, using your arm as a pillow. Thank yourself for showing up on your yoga mat today and for giving this time to you. Make your way into a comfortable seated position and we'll gather the hands at heart center. Thank you so much for joining me for this power flow, and I hope you enjoyed. Remember to let me know in the comments if you like these quicker paced classes and subscribe for free yoga classes every week. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.